Hayden Panettiere Toxicology results, when will they be released? Content warning. This video discusses death, possible overdose reports, and an ongoing investigation. Hayden Panettiere's death is still under investigation, and one of the biggest questions right now is simple: when will the toxicology results be released? Hayden died on August 16, 2026, at the age of 36, after she was found unresponsive at a residence in Greenville, South Carolina. Her death was sudden, and because the official cause has not yet been determined, investigators are waiting for additional testing before making a final ruling. The Greenville County Coroner's Office has already completed an autopsy, and that preliminary examination established one important fact: there were no signs of trauma that contributed to her death. But that does not mean the investigation is finished. The coroner says the cause and manner of death remain undetermined while toxicology testing is completed. Current reporting says the toxicology results could take up to 8 weeks, although they could arrive sooner. So what exactly is taking so long? Toxicology testing is a forensic process used to determine whether drugs, medications, alcohol, or other substances are present in someone's body. But investigators aren't simply looking for a single positive or negative result. The laboratory may need to identify specific substances, determine their concentrations, and interpret those findings alongside the autopsy, medical history, circumstances at the scene, and other evidence. That's why toxicology can take considerably longer than a preliminary autopsy. An autopsy can provide physical findings relatively quickly. Laboratory testing is different. Samples may need to be processed and analyzed using specialized equipment before the results are sent back to the coroner. Then the coroner has to interpret those results in the context of the entire investigation. And that's particularly important in Hayden's case. There has already been reporting about a possible overdose. Emergency dispatch information reportedly referenced an overdose, and some reports have said that Narcan, a medication used to reverse opioid overdoses, was found at the residence. But those details do not establish an official cause of death. The coroner has not announced that Hayden died from an overdose. That distinction is extremely important. A report from an emergency call describes what responders may have suspected at the time. A toxicology result is laboratory evidence. And the final cause of death is a medical and legal determination made after investigators consider all of the available evidence. So right now, the responsible answer is still: we don't know the official cause. And toxicology may be one of the most important pieces of information needed to change that.
There's another reason people are watching the toxicology report so closely. Hayden Panettiere had previously spoken publicly about addiction. She discussed struggles with alcohol and prescription opioids, as well as depression and other difficult periods in her life. Those experiences are part of her documented history, but they cannot be used to predict what will appear in a toxicology report. Past addiction does not automatically mean a person had drugs in their system at the time of death. And even if a substance is detected, that doesn't automatically mean it caused the death. This is one of the most important things to understand about toxicology. A toxicology report can show that a substance was present. The coroner then has to determine what that finding actually means. Was the substance present at a therapeutic level? Was it present at a potentially toxic level? Could multiple substances have interacted? Was a medication prescribed? Could another medical condition have contributed? Those are the kinds of questions investigators may have to consider. That's why a toxicology report should not be interpreted as a simple list of substances. It has to be evaluated as part of the entire case. And in Hayden's case, the preliminary autopsy has already ruled out one major category of explanation. The coroner reported that no trauma was found that contributed to her death. Police have also said that no foul play is currently suspected. According to the Associated Press, the investigation remains ongoing and the cause of death has not been determined. That leaves investigators waiting for the remaining evidence. And that is where the projected timeline becomes important. The latest reporting from Entertainment Weekly, citing the Greenville County Coroner's Office, says toxicology may take up to 8 weeks. That means viewers should not necessarily expect an official answer within a few days. It could happen sooner. But if the laboratory takes the full estimated period, the results could potentially extend into October 2026. And even that isn't a guaranteed release date. The 8-week estimate is a projection, not a scheduled announcement. The laboratory could complete the work earlier, or additional investigation could delay the final determination. There is also a difference between a toxicology result being completed and the public receiving a complete explanation. Investigators may receive laboratory findings before the coroner formally announces the final cause and manner of death. The coroner may need additional time to review everything. This is why headlines saying toxicology results are coming should not automatically be interpreted as the cause of death will be announced tomorrow. The process can happen in stages. First, investigators collect evidence. Then the autopsy is performed. Samples are sent for laboratory analysis. Toxicology results come back. The coroner reviews those results alongside the autopsy and investigative information, and only then can a final determination be made. So what could the toxicology report actually reveal? It could help establish whether medications, alcohol, illicit drugs, or combinations of substances were present. It could potentially help explain why Hayden went into cardiac arrest. But it could also show that substances were not responsible. That's an outcome people sometimes forget. Toxicology isn't designed to prove a particular theory. It's designed to provide evidence.
There's also an important distinction between cause of death and manner of death. The cause refers to the medical reason someone died. The manner is the classification of how the death occurred, such as natural, accidental, suicide, homicide, or undetermined. A toxicology report can contribute important evidence to both questions, but it doesn't necessarily answer both by itself. That's why the coroner's final report matters. For Hayden Panettiere, the investigation currently remains open. The preliminary autopsy found no trauma that contributed to her death. Police have reported that foul play is not suspected, and toxicology is still pending. Those are the facts we can establish right now. There are also reports about what happened at the scene. Hayden was found unresponsive and in cardiac arrest, and emergency responders attempted resuscitation. Those details help establish the circumstances of her final moments, but they still don't tell us why the cardiac arrest occurred. That's exactly what investigators are trying to determine, and this is why waiting for toxicology is so important. It's tempting, especially after a sudden celebrity death, to connect the person's past to the present. In Hayden's case, her history of addiction makes that temptation even stronger. But responsible reporting means separating what is known from what is suspected. Her past struggles are known. The preliminary autopsy findings are known. The toxicology result is not yet known, and the official cause of death is not yet known. So when will the results be released? Based on the latest statement reported by Entertainment Weekly, the coroner's office says toxicology could take up to 8 weeks, although it could be completed sooner. If the full 8-week estimate were required, that would put the potential window around October 2026. But that's not a promised release date, and the public may receive the final cause and manner of death at a different time from the laboratory result itself. Until then, any claim that Hayden's death was definitely caused by an overdose, a medication, her previous addiction, or another specific condition remains unconfirmed. There is one more thing worth remembering. Hayden Panettiere spent years publicly discussing recovery and the challenges she had faced. Those experiences deserve to be remembered accurately, but they should not become a substitute for evidence in an ongoing death investigation. The final answer should come from the investigators and medical professionals handling the case. So for now, the biggest update is not that toxicology has revealed the cause of death. It hasn't. The biggest update is that the autopsy has found no trauma contributing to her death, the investigation remains active, and toxicology testing is underway. The results could arrive sooner than the 8-week estimate, or investigators could need additional time before releasing a final conclusion. Until then, there is one responsible answer to the question of what happened to Hayden Panettiere. We don't know yet. And the toxicology report may be one of the key pieces of evidence that finally helps explain why her life ended so suddenly at just 36 years old.